Hey, my friends. Happy Wednesday, whatever day it is. Whenever you're watching this, welcome. I am Emily Smiley, and this page is for network marketers, affiliate, and home-based businesses who really want to learn new systems, strategies, and content for building and expanding, leveraging, and automating your business online. So welcome. I am sorry I'm on here a little bit late. I just got back from a later workout. That's a whole other story, don't get me started. But today's topic is, so you don't fit the mold in your company, now what? I don't care if you just started or if you've been with your business or your company for a while. I think there comes a point for most of us, or you wouldn't be here, or this isn't for you, where you realize that maybe you just want to do things a little bit differently and you're just not sure how, right? So this live is for you. So if you love doing your home parties and you love connecting with people on three-way calls, then this is probably not for you. There's people out there crushing it with those, and that's totally fine. But for me, I'm only one person. And even if I'm doing calls, bam, if I've got 10, I could never get them down under half an hour. That's still hours and hours of my day. So for me, I wanted to crush it on the online world, and that meant learning new strategies. Notice I did not say tactics. A lot of people are trying to build online and they are using tactics, and then they are at the will of whatever happens and changes are made on Facebook, right? Because we don't control those, or whatever platform you're on, right? A lot of people were crushing it on Instagram and they no longer are because it changed. So when things change, then your tactic may not work. This is important because you need to learn to build a long-term strategy versus a tactic. That's probably a lie for another day. I digress. So you don't fit the mold. All right, so I know I've touched on this before in earlier lives, but basically as an entrepreneur, we're a little bit outside the mold anyway, right? Like there are people, and there is nothing wrong with this, who are employees for life, right? They just want to go to work, have someone tell them what to do, collect their paycheck, and then at the end of the day, go home, not be responsible. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? A lot of like big contracted celebrities, athletes, they're employees, right? And they collect large paychecks from that. So an entrepreneur, like if you have an entrepreneurial mindset, I love when I find someone that has an entrepreneurial mindset because I think we just think differently, right? We don't fit the mold of normal. How do I know this? Okay, well, I was maybe 10 years old and we grew up on a golf course that had the PGA Tour come through, and I decided to sell lemonade. Now, not just any thing, I thought really big. So I got employees, AKA my siblings, and I have quite a few of them, and I created a system where we could literally produce lemonade now, so much so they ended up doing an article on us. And then after a few years, actually shut us down because we were a competitor. And we did thousands of dollars worth of business. I think that I knew then that I was meant to be an entrepreneur, right? So I've had many businesses over the years. So I think, how can I expand? How can I leverage this? How can I make this bigger? And I think a lot of people are already, thinking that way with their business. That's why they're trying to do it online, and perhaps they're doing it all wrong. That is actually a topic for later. So on top of that, if you're in a traditional network marketing company, a lot of the company, right, they have distributors or MLM or whatever you want to call it. They have distributors that market their products for them, right? So they want you are branding the company. And so when you go online, for a lot of people, they share their company online. So when you want to build online, you almost have to break the mold even more to take it a step further, because our market is smart and it's ever changing. And so strategies that didn't even work or that worked a year ago are no longer working, right? And that's the advantage of being absolutely plugged into a community of people that are committed to building online, right? Because Facebook announced, was it April, like early this year, that they were going to really start cutting down on the spammy kind of stuff, right? And they actually know if you have reposted someone else's content, like if you're like copying and pasting, that kind of thing. That's crazy, that artificial intelligence that is there. And then also the before and after pictures, people were crushing it and making, large paychecks on sharing their before and after pictures with their company or their product or whatever. And people don't want to see that anymore, right? Our market has changed. People are really smart. Their expectations are different. This is both a good and a bad thing. So the good news is if you want to break that mold, you might be the odd man out in your company because companies haven't quite figured out the system for doing that, right? They haven't figured out what duplicates, but many have. And so that was a game changer for me when I found people committed to building their business how I wanted to build, okay? Now, I say that because that is my choice. And a lot of times I think I have found so many of you who feel the same way. You're like, okay, so I don't want to build this way. You've asked me how I want to build. I want to build online, but then they don't know what to do with you, right? So you're really the anomaly. Like, not only are you in network marketing, right? You want to build online. What? Like, that's crazy. So it's important to find your people, find who you roll. In fact, I'm going to put a link in here because I know a lot of you guys watch this on replay, and that's cool. If you want to click the link, there will be an attached ebook, and that is absolutely what changed for me as far as the structure and the strategy for how to build online, and more importantly, how to find your people, right? Because if you've got people that know everything that's coming out with Facebook, and you've got people that already know how you want to build online, where it's not just a tactic and then you have to change it every time, right? You actually know ahead of time what's coming. That's super helpful. So your expectations are different. And that can be a good and a bad thing. So later this week, I've got a couple of lives, and we're going to talk about the problems, pros and cons, however you want to say it, of building online, because nothing is perfect, right? Do three-way calls work? Absolutely. Like, literally almost every time I did a call, we had a positive outcome. The problem was, for me, the amount of time and the outcome were not what I was looking for, right? They weren't the same for me. So a lot of people, maybe you're happy with doing that, and that's fine. But when you set the expectation, when they start to come, like how many of you guys have heard you've joined your company and you're like, well, all you have to do is share with 5 people, and those 5 people have to share with 5 people, and then that's all you have to do. It's just sharing, right? I think many can relate to this. And then what happens? They get in and they don't have that expectation that, wow, it's really hard to find 5 people to find 5 people, right? So then that you do what? You quickly start digging through your list. If a person comes to you and they say, well, I really want to build online, what do I need to do? You can immediately start laying the foundation and the groundwork differently, or the how, right? What is the number one struggle for network marketers in building a team? Number one. If you know, I want you to type it in below. I can tell you, hands down, every single person I've talked to, I don't care what platform, if I've met them in person, if they've reached out because of my Facebook Lives, if I've connected with them on LinkedIn. I was chatting with a guy yesterday. I said, I think he's in Australia or New Zealand, somewhere overseas. I said, what's your number one struggle? And he said, finding people. So it doesn't help when you're just saying, just go find 5 people, They don't know 5 people that are interested. Those 5 people have told them no, and those 5 people have told them no, and those 5 people have told them no. How do you find more people? That is the number one problem and struggle. And if you don't tell them how to go find those people, they're going to get frustrated. And it's like beating a dead horse. And I have been there. I have felt the struggle of like, who else do I talk to? I don't have anybody else. I don't have any more influence. If you felt that way, let me know, because surely I could not be the only one. Now, I no longer feel that way. Why? Because I got the how. It's not enough for your team or your leaders or your whatever or your company, however awesome they may be, right? I'm not knocking any of them, but if you want to build online and you want to be an influencer, you cannot be salesy. You have to influence without chasing the sale because they're smarter. They're onto you. They know. They can smell that commission breath. That's not mine. I did not tag that, but I think I heard if you use it like 3 times, then you don't have to give credit anymore, right? So, but it's true. Like you can read if they're really trying to like sell you something, not share you something, right? So how do we share the how? The how is usually the missing piece of the find 5 friends to find 5 friends to find 1 friends, right? So when people come in, they don't know what to expect. And I get it. You don't want to scare people. You don't want to have people come in and go, well, okay, this is like a serious business and these marketing, you need to get good at networking and you need to get good at marketing and you need to get good. And there's all these skills that you need to learn. Like you're not trying to scare them. However, you don't want to set this expectation that all you have to do is just talk to 5 of your friends and get 5 of their friends and then just share and it's a piece of cake. It's not. And that's why so many quit, right? And it's also they look at these influencers who maybe get into network marketing who are or do have large influencing followers and they compare themselves to them and they're like, well, they just got in and they got 5 people to get 10 people to get 50 people, right? But that's not the case for the average person. And that really became my soapbox. It was like, how do we help the mamapreneur, the person who, okay, maybe you can make a list of friends and family for 100, and maybe that's a good place to start. And when you're excited and you're just starting your business, that will go a long way. I'm not knocking that in any way. And there's people that crush it in that space. But I'm noticing that so many people struggle after you burn through your warm market, right? And how many of you are guilty of sending, hey girl, saw your skin, it looks amazing. I'm curious, like, what do you use? You can read that a mile away. You know exactly where they're headed. And for most of them, or most of us, all we have to do is click over to their little profile, scroll down, and then usually they've got a picture of their company, a picture of their product, and maybe their website on there. So then I immediately already know what company they've gotten in. They found network marketing, which is great. I totally support that. But then you haven't talked to me in how long, and now all of a sudden you're messaging me, hey girl, was thinking of you. Were you really? Right? I feel like it's so overused that it's completely ineffective. And it's not that you don't care, and it's not that it's coming even from an inauthentic place. Maybe you do care. Maybe they do have amazing skin, right? We give people compliments that they may or may not know about themselves. That's not the point. The point is, if you're using that as your sole tactic or strategy for finding new people, how effective is that, right? So you want to break this mold, but you're not sure how to do it. And that is the missing component that was literally leaving me beating my head against the wall. Just tell me how to do it, right? And then I felt like I was pushed into a mold. So I'm not a jump around kind of person, but my first company was all about like home parties and carrying product and that kind of thing. It did not align with me specifically, and it wasn't really for me. I was not interested in skincare and makeup. Not that I don't wear it, I just don't love it, right? And I barely do my own hair and makeup, so it just wasn't for me. And that's fine. And there's people crushing it in that, right? And then I find a company that I'm aligned with, but then maybe you're a company that you're aligned with that you love the company and the product, but they're really pushing you to run events or booths or 3-way calls, and there's nothing wrong with any of those things. But maybe it doesn't align with what you want. What is your vision for what you see yourself in your business, right? Do you see yourself on the phone, like rocking it? And I've been there, and I've built teams, and then they crashed, and then I built a team, and then I thought we were rolling, and then we crashed, right? I had so much time invested in every single person instead of trying to leverage the system and then my time. And then what I noticed was there was a lot of people that felt like me. Here I was trying to squeeze myself into this mold that did not fit me to my core. And I wanted something different, and I didn't want to leave, but I didn't know how to do it differently, and neither did they, right? There was no other system set up. So I go over here and I learn, right? And you can add it to your company. You're easily doable, right? Doesn't take away anything. You learn to do it differently. So you literally are breaking the mold for maybe what's expected, what's taught, what your company is. And it's becoming more and more accepted, right? Like the internet isn't going anywhere. Social media isn't going anywhere, but it's not enough to do a tactic. You have to have an active strategy, a long-term. So it does require thinking long-term, right? You can't just throw up your post and expect if you don't follow up with anyone with it, right? Now, I still see a lot of people doing this wrong. They'll throw up a post, you try to be supportive of it, you like it. Hey, notice you liked my post. Hey, here's my link. Is that an effective strategy? Maybe sometimes you get something on there, but how many people do you probably repel for every one person? Wouldn't it be more effective to effectively use attraction marketing to where people are messaging you saying, hey, I really want to know more about that. Hey, this is really helping my business, which is awesome. I love that. I love it when I get messages. I got one yesterday saying, hey, I got my blog up. I'm super excited. Here's my newest one. I wanted to share it with you because I couldn't have done it. I love that because that for me helps keep me going, first of all. But I'm like, yes, I help another mama crush it, right? She gets to put that blog down, let that work for her, let that message continue long after a 20 or 30 minute presentation in person, right? Because it's reshared and reshared and reshared. And that's working for her while she gets to go make dinner and put her kids to bed. Now, for me, I found it more effective to do the work earlier, put it out there, and then go hang out with my family. For me, that felt more authentic. It felt like I was actually leveraging my time. Because otherwise, I was still trading my time for the sale. 30 minutes on the phone, one sale. 30 minutes on the phone, one team member. 30 minutes on the phone, one this, right? And so I went and found the mentors that were crushing it online saying, hey, there's a skill set that you need. So I've got so many notes. I'm going to have to continue probably today's live. Let me look at my notes here. Yeah, I have probably a lot of live content. So I'm definitely going to kind of do a be continued. But time is a valuable commodity, you guys. And there's a lot of information out there. I get it. You're getting lots of information. You know, we've got team right now that, you know, they just felt overwhelmed with just having a business. But what's great about building online is you can find the people who are most like you, right? Because not everybody is your ideal prospect. But when you're doing it one-on-one or person-to-person from the get-go, a lot of times you don't know that they're not a good fit for you until you've invested quite a lot of time, right? So this way, when you're learning to build online and you're reaching and you're back and forth, you can kind of get to know a person and find if it's a good fit without that huge time commitment, which is your largest commodity, right? So you're not just trading those, what is it called? Dialing for dollars, right? Another whole life. Because you can still build that know, like, and trust online. And that works. So it depends on how you want to do it. But you're still sharing simple systems, but you're building and expanding online, right? You're meeting new people online. Because how many of us have done it wrong, and I'm totally guilty of this. Fess up, it's not even Fess Up Friday. I've joined groups, Facebook groups, meetup groups, gyms, with the sole purpose of expanding my network. Now, I am always expanding my network, but if your business is contingent on the fact that you're always having to have these conversations, it's going to get you kicked out of groups. It's going to repel people. You're still chasing instead of attracting. Does that make sense? And I think a lot of people think that they're doing it correctly when they're, I'm out there, I'm networking, I'm online, my face is out there, I'm sharing. Oh no, my battery's gonna die. When really, in fact, they're still chasing people. They're not attracting people. They're not saying, having people coming to them going, hey, that thing that you shared, that is really awesome. I want that, right? I was watching, last story, and then I'm going to continue this. What's it called? It's like a show where this guy basically is like, for $100, I'm going to go into Erie, Pennsylvania, I think it is. And he's like a multi-million, I can't remember the guy's name. He's like a billionaire. And he's like, I can build a business from the ground up in like, I can't remember if it's 90 or 120 days. Like I can do this. And I just lost my point. Shoot. It happens. Gotta love live videos. Anyway, you gotta watch the show because it's really, really, really good. He does share the difference in an entrepreneur mindset and how to network. And I swear I could do so many lives from this one show. So if I remember the point I was gonna make specifically, I will continue that tomorrow. But who is your ideal prospect and how can you attract them online with a strategy, not a tactic, into building online? And how can you break that mold from your company of, how do I brand myself? I don't know how not to brand, myself. And that's a whole other thing because you already are branding yourself anytime you share. So, questions. Do I share on my personal page or do I build a business page? Right? All great questions. So what I want to do is, I'm going to be going live tomorrow, and I literally have like 12 tips, in my opinion, for building online. Like, where do I start? Okay, you've convinced me, I'm gonna build online, but how do I start? Okay, I'm gonna share with you, let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, a couple bonus. I've got 10 or 12 that I wanna share, including the roadmap, and I will send you the link if you're interested. Let me know. Game changer, total game changer. Like, mind blown. Give me the how. This was my how. There's a lot of coaches out there. I get it. There's a lot of people, but I felt like you'd have to do this, right? Like, oh, that person has that. And oh, that person, like shiny syndrome, right? Squirrel. No, you need an actual roadmap. This is step 1. This is step 2. This is step 3. How can I stay with my company and still meet compliance? How can I build online and build a personal brand? What do I do about this? What page do I build on? How do I build it? How do I find people? Number 1 problem, right? So if you desire to break the mold within, your company and you want to build online and you're looking like, hey, I'm in, then I'm looking for you, right? Looking for those people because the market changes. And if you're only using tactics and you're not using strategies, eventually it's not going to work. You need an online system, just like the old school had an offline system. You need an online system of how to use Messenger, how to use Facebook Lives, like everything in one place. I got you. Let me know and I'll be glad to send it. All right, you guys, it has been awesome. Hopefully you found value. Please, let me know, hey, that was valuable. Like it, share it, comment, message me. I'm always open to that and helping you crush and build your business. If there's any questions I can answer, I most certainly will. If not, that's what mentors are for. So I will connect with mine and get you the answer if I do not know. But I do have a couple lives. I'm going to continue those. I also am going to be doing a live on if you do not have a home network marketing company. There's good questions that you need to ask. And just because you're a customer does not make it a good business. You need to look at the compensation and the business plan, and you need to know what you're looking at. So we're going to be doing some questions on, finding a home, because you don't want to be one of those people, right, that like jump around everywhere, because you're going to lose. You're going to lose people that way for sure. So we're going to be talking about that. And then I definitely have a live coming up about the pros and cons to building online. You do need to be aware of, what to be careful of, what not to do, just like anything else. So hopefully you will see those coming and find those valuable. In the meantime, get out there and crush it. You got it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.